Good morning, folks. Painless. Been a little bit under the weather. Caught a little brief cold. Kind of put me out for a couple days, but I'm getting better. Been taking um, vitamin C and things like that. Drinking a lot of green tea. Uh, let me get something. Every so often, I have to do a video like this. Well, I don't have to. I don't have to do nothing but stay black and die. But just to kind of clear the air because the waters get kind of murky in my position on things and how that kind of shapes me as an individual, as a person. I understand this. Let me say this. My particular views on high visibility cases involving white police officers and young black men, they they don't shape me who I am. And I'm letting you know now, the main focal point of this video, I don't march to a white person's drum. I know that is, that's the perception out there on YouTube as well as social media blogs. But I don't. I'm very aware that the things that I say, I probably do have certain individuals who listen to my videos who don't particularly care to associate with black people in any way, form, or fashion. I'm very well aware of that, excuse me. And that what I say gives them validation in a sense because they can't say those things in the supermarket if a black person cuts them off. They can't say this at a Friday night football game where a black person is cheering and things like that. They can't say this on the street. And looking at me, or you can't see my neck, or hearing me, it gives them a sense of calm. Like, well, even he's black. He says this about maybe. I get all that. I'm not a fool. And I'm not here to massage there and make them feel at ease. I call things straight up and down just how they are. Now, with that being said, this like high visibility cases in which white officers and young black men are involved, we happen to see eye to eye on those things. That's it. That is it. What I find with a lot of, and I even tell my wife this, I said, I look at your people and my people, there's something white people are doing that has been right. Because look where your people are at and look where my people are at. I stand on correctness and accuracy. Not, I don't stand on whiteness. It just so happens to be, in a lot of instances, white folk are correct and accurate. We've heard this. We hear this. The white man set up he's cunning. He sets up these systems. I mean, he was able to go around the world and dupe people out of land and all this. I look at all these shootings that happened, and a lot of the dealings were at fault of the victim. Now, that doesn't make me in cahoots with most white men. I know, like I said, I know that seems to be perception going around on social media, especially YouTube. But I don't march to a white man's drum, and the fact that I even have to say that in and of itself is pretty sad. See, this is what gets me. A lot of you supposed pro-blacks, you're the ones who really think the white man's ice is colder. That's what I'm starting to figure out. You are the ones who are really scared of white folks. And to me, to even say people are scared of a certain group, it's sad. But for all intents and purposes, and for illustration purposes of this video, I have to say things silly like that. Y'all are the ones who really scared. You see, with me, a lot of white people know, and this to show that I'm not just generalizing and things like that, because you see it every election cycle. A lot of white people know, as well as a lot of other groups know. They know they can dangle Jesus and Christianity to kind of calm down black folks. They know this. And black folk, you believe in the ultimate belief, which is someone has shaped your views about the afterlife. Therefore, you act on this plane as if that belief is true. And it shapes you. It kind of pauses you. And I'm no revolutionary. I don't need to get riled up. See, a lot of black folks can get emotional and huff and puff and showing their hand. You know, poker face is all out of whack. See, you will never know my next move. But see, people know black folks' next move before they know it. And they dangle Jesus and Christianity in front of you. You see, you can't do that with me. Because I don't believe in that. And it's funny when I talk to black folk who think about racism and white supremacy and they shot that boy for no reason. But you going to church. You're reading and subscribing yourself to the ultimate belief, which is your actions. You think your actions on this plane dictate where you're going to be after you leave this plane. And if I can control that, then I have you. So you can sit up here and say, you know, white supremacy this and that, and you know, white people this, but then Sunday you're going to the church and you're looking up at a Jesus who doesn't look like you. And I don't care if you darken him up, that concept is there. Now, some of y'all may be wondering why I'm focusing exclusively on religion. Because, like I said, if you haven't picked off that little term, the ultimate belief. And that ultimate belief can quell you Negroes when you getting out of line. This is why you shouldn't be so easy to be hot-tempered. You shouldn't be rushed to bad temperament. Because when you're always mad, no one really knows when you're really mad. So, I'm well aware of things, okay? Like I said, I'm probably more, if I believed in that, I'm more pro-black than you. I don't aspire to be, well, I think I've just laid out my evidence, and I think you all know where I stand about the white people's religion. And I say that because what you would never have known about that. Yeah, well, I know somebody's going to say, well, what about, the Ethiopians and they were the first. I'm not going back. Most of you Negroes know what I'm talking about. You never would have came into contact with Christianity if it wasn't for white people. And that's perfectly fine. But I don't aspire to be of that church or that belief system. And I'm not going to go into, well, where do you get your morals? I'm not entertaining that. That's for another video. I don't aspire to be any of his spin-off clubs, i.e. Prince Hall Masons, the Greek fraternities, any of his clubs that you shines have somehow dipped in chocolate to Africanize it. I don't aspire to be into any of that. I do my own on my own, like a man should. Through work, through perseverance. I don't need all that. You need that. But see, you want to be in that, just like this whole Oscar thing. Either you want to integrate or you want to segregate. You can't be hollering justice and white supremacy and this and that, but then running down to the black spinoff, to the white, Elks group, Elks Lodge group. You can't do that. Either you're going to totally segregate or you just need to shut the fuck up. I don't aspire to do those things. We talk about I talked about accuracy and in terms of rightness. It happens that a lot of black folks in situations are on the wrong. Especially these high visibility cases in which young black men are being shot. They're in the wrong. That doesn't make me wanting to be white. I call it for what it is. You see, I'm comfortable with who I am. I don't need to believe in something because I'm trying to validate my blackness. If you don't like what I'm saying, if you don't like my opinion, and it doesn't mesh up with the Negro script, I could give a fuck. If you think that's what shapes me as a black man, so have it, so be it. But see, I know it doesn't. And like I said, every now and then I have to clear the air. Like I said, you all who march around calling black folks coon and this, you're really scared of white people. And the fact that I even have to say that is a problem. Because nobody should be scared of nobody. But I think you are. I think you pro-blacks are really the ones who feel inferior to white people. You scared of white people. When white people tell you to do something, you hop, skip, and jump. I think you are the ones. And don't be fooled by that tough talk. And when a white person does say something to you, you bowing up and cussing. See, scary folks act like that. Because it's a last-ditch effort of desperation. So you're the ones who are really scared. It took me a little bit of time, because I like I said, I understand black folks. I know what makes you tick. I know everything about you. And that kind of, I knew that, but it kind of got away from me. But now I'm like, oh yeah, when you get a Negro acting like that, you know they angle. See, black folks talk tough, but they know. They know. This is why black folks can see a wave of white people. It won't do nothing to them. But as soon as they see you, black, they focusing in on you to do you all type of harm and good. I mean, to do all type of harm, excuse me. That's the reality of it. You see, all these white people believe in white supremacy. I hate whitey. But as soon as they see your black ass, they ready to do you in. Because they scary. They are scary. And it's not until they done been bent all out of, and you notice, these shines don't do anything until shit done got out of hand and they mad. And like I said, white people know your MO. They know, okay, we shoot this shine. All right, we'll deal with their rioting and all this for a couple months. Then the shit die down. And that's pretty much it. This is why I say a lot of black folk can only sprint. You don't have the intestinal fortitude to do a marathon. You can't. Only thing you can do is sprint. You come out the blocks, chest up, legs pumping, arms pumping, looking good, head up. But after a while, that check engine lights start coming on, and the hood starts smoking. Them rods start knocking, and you done. You done. And people know this. I know this. So I this is why I revert back to what I said, in the early parts of this video. This is why you shouldn't be so quick-tempered. This is why you should never show your poker face. But see, we like to let everybody know we mad and let everybody know what's going on. See, most groups don't do that. They just keep their head down, focus, and act accordingly. Do what they need to do. You can't do that. And most groups, especially white people, know this. And like I said, I know there are white people that watch my videos and it gives them the sense of validation. And they probably necessarily wouldn't have anything to do with me. And I understand this and I know this. I can spot racist white folk. I can tell between a racist white person who doesn't want to have anything to do with me versus a white person who has opinions that would appear to a shine to be racist. You see what I'm saying? I can sift through the BS. And nor do I care to associate with them neither. Nor do I care to be in their presence or anything. That's just me. I'm straight up and down. I know as cliche as this may sound, I'm a straight shooter. But I'm very aware what's going on. You guys aren't aware. You pro-blacks are really not aware. You're not. You're the scary ones. But you speak in a way to present yourself as if you're not. Like you know what's going on. See, my message would keep your black asses out of trouble. Some of y'all are too dumb enough to see it. I've given you the keys. Well, Payless, what's your solutions? I didn't give you an abundance of solutions. But see, they're not sounding as revolutionary and full of hype like you want. I've given a boatload of solutions without even saying, well, Shine, here's the solutions. Boom, 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 boom. I don't need to do that. But since I ain't talking, white man, I don't do that. That's not my angle. I'm not one of these hype, jittery Negroes that only get involved, that only get buck when Raekwon was shot on 14th Street trying to rob somebody. And now you want to call justice. Now you want to be involved. Now you want to march and riot and talk all this tough shit. That's not me. And most real cats are not like that. Most mature dudes. And I've talked about black men. I talk about a lot about the so-called black community. And I'll tell you this. A lot of older dudes in the street that may be part of the criminal underworld, as bad as what I say, as bad as what they're doing, you know, they are, I mean, real solid street dudes who still have a code. You're not going to see their asses Black Lives Matter. You're not going to see their asses in the street with their pants below their ass, with a shirt wrapped around their face so nobody can identify them, and yelling and throwing bricks and bottles. Real solid street dudes that, like I said, as bad as it may be part of the problem. You're not going to see those dudes. And a lot of those dudes believe exactly what I do and what I say. These are the type of dudes that can differentiate snitching versus someone who recognizes a wrong and tells them and utilizes a service that's there for everybody. You know, if you've committed yourself to a life of crime, if you've said, I'm going to get it how I live, I'm going to live by the sword, I'm going to sell this dope, I know the risks associated, grave, time away from family, jail time, death, you know. I know the risks. I'm going to sell this dope. I'm going to sell these guns. Or I'm going to rob people for a living. I'm going to do it. See, and then when shit hit the fan, when the feds start coming in and they telling your ass, well, we got you with the dope. We got you with the guns. What you gonna do? Gonna barbecue a mildew. And then your ass is looking at 121 years. What are you gonna do? Now you've committed yourself to this life. You knew the risk. You knew the risk. This is why me, Payless, I'm not a street dude. I know street guys. I got family who've been in jail. I have family that are street guys. But I can say I'm not built for that. Because I don't want to take those risks. I have too much to lose. But however, if you do, now you giving up locations, you giving up names, you're giving up connections, you're giving up the whole kit and caboodle. To me, that is a snitch. And truth be told, a lot of cops don't like snitches in actuality. To be perfectly honest with you, a lot of cops do not like, nobody likes a tattle. Snitches is another word for tattletale, which is a schoolyard term. And we're conditioned not to like from waist high, not to like someone who tells on other people. It amazes me, people only like tattletales when it's convenient for them. But cops don't like snitches. And you get disrespected. You get flagged. But again, if you've dedicated your life to that, and you're looking and you tell, jeopardizing, and again, as bad as what these guys doing, and again, they're part of the problem, but you're jeopardizing their livelihood. And I know this may sound convoluted, but you're a snitch. Now, Mr. Haynes, who gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning, has his cup of coffee, maybe watches ESPN. He's got a wife and 5 kids. He works a job downtown doing side work or, construction work. And meanwhile, he goes out to his truck, his work truck, and all his damn tools are missing. He calls the police. The police do an investigation. They canvass the neighborhood, and they find out it's Hambone and Skillet then robbed Mr. Haynes of his vehicle. Now, Hambone and Skillet are looking at Mr. Haynes like, we gonna get your ass. You done told on us. You see, that to me, and I would attest that a lot of street dudes wouldn't typify him as a snitch. He is a civilian. He's a working guy. He hasn't dedicated his life to a life of crime. He hasn't taken an oath to get it how he live and die by the sword. He's not a snitch to me. He's a square dude working a square job, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's a civilian. He just got violated by 2 shines. The very 2 shines, catch this, the very 2 shines who were probably snitch in the former example I gave. You catch what I'm saying? Who were probably Hambone and Skillet. And see, and this is the problem you have. You have a lot of niggas in the street that are playing in the streets. They're playing with grown men who really are about that life. And this is it. And a lot of this has to do with the glorification of hip-hop gangster culture, which they're not really living. A lot of these guys aren't living themselves. Don't be fooled. But you have a lot of niggas playing in America in the streets. A lot of wannabe tough guys to where if you got their ass in a room, if you got them in a standard size bathroom and locked the door with just these, they'll probably nutter. They'll probably jump in the goddamn tub and close the curtain. But that shit ain't gonna save you. And a lot of people are playing. A lot of these dudes are playing in the streets, man. So I refuse to let guys like that call me a coon and say that I lick white people's ass cracks clean. Don't be fooled by guys like this. Don't be fooled by the tough talk and white this, white supremacy this, we need to do this and that. Because they all talk. Peace.